Good afternoon, Barry. How are you today? We're going to have a look in a minute at permaculture crops. Apples, of course, are one of the main ones. Plums are also the actual huge special treat in practically every garden. We've got some plums which are ready for harvest, and apples are now ready for harvest. First week in September these are, but different ones will be usable for different times of the year. Harvesting the crops usually takes place in August and September. A container like this is very useful, so you can keep one hand on the ladder. You can do the picking of the fruit quite happily with the other hand. In this case, the plums, I can reach pretty well right up to the top. And down here, the ladder's nice and stable because it's a tripod ladder with each leg adjustable. Remember, we live on a sloping site. Some of the fruit, that one has been attacked by wasps already, so I can throw that for the rest of the wildlife and just pick the best. Two lovely succulent plums. This bed here of leeks was the second lot which were put in. They were put in after the second early potatoes were taken out. I've got here an onion hoe which is used for earthing up as well as for hoeing between onions. When you're earthing up the leeks like this, the best way to get a really good white leek is to just hold the leek itself like that as you're moving the soil up around it. So you pull the soil up like that from both sides with the hoe, and so all you're doing is moving the soil enough to make a slight mound around the plant itself. And the third one, ignore all the small little annual weeds, because by moving the soil like this you have actually hoed at the same time. And those three plants are now mounded up like that, so that that will produce a really long, white, delicious leek in about 2 months' time. These are the ordinary, local, natural hazelnuts. You can see in my hand here, they come mostly in little groups like that. That one is a group of 3, that one's a group of 4. They are natural in this country, and they produce a significant crop as long as they're left alone for quite some time. They produce significant amounts of food. They provide fertility because the leaf fall. They provide very useful hedging material so that you can actually use them to lay in to make fences and hedges. They are very productive, but they're much more so if you use what's called the natural filbert or cob nut. The cob nut, or Kentish cob as it's sometimes known, is a much more productive system than the natural one. This will produce up to 3 or even 5 times the crop of nuts every year that the ordinary natural or naturalized hazel produces. if only I hear people say we could find a food producing system giving healthier nutrition than meat, dairy or eggs or fish. Secondly, on less than a quarter of the land used for those products. Something which can be eaten raw or cooked in many ways. Good for wildlife and biodiversity in general. No killing baby animals as in dairy and egg industries. The best thing for climate stability by absorbing large amounts of carbon dioxide. Gives free energy and wood fuel, which is carbon neutral. That will all come from thinning and coppicing, giving free fertility from autumn leaf fall. We need tree crops. I am convinced that the agriculture industry and land use in general is missing out on a major, highly important use of land for the future. You've just seen some hazelnuts down at the bottom, but these that you're looking at now are sweet chestnut trees. We've talked briefly about them before. Both of those grow well in the UK. All those pluses which I've just listed can be achieved perfectly well on a massive scale. And the sooner we get on with it, the better.